Hello, this is RICKY, the mainstream movie guy. Hey guys, today I am bringing you the 5 main plot holes with Batman vs Superman. Now, we all had our problems with Batman vs Superman. It was not a perfect movie by any means. I personally love DC. It has my favorite superhero of all of them, Nightwing, and what really got to us was the missed potential, how great this movie could have been, and a lot of the plot holes are the reason why it just doesn't make sense. Like, you can try to, and I encourage you, please start your comments right now and get them ready. Why is each plot hole actually not a plot hole, and try to explain it. I challenge anyone that loved the movie to try to explain each of these plot holes. Let's get right into it. So the first big plot hole is, why is Superman blamed for the gun shooting? It just made no sense. He's blamed for a gun shooting, and then, like, I mean, I guess you can kind of pit this scene on him when the thing explodes later, but why was he blamed for what happened in the other country? In the very beginning of the movie, why was he blamed for that? There's no rhyme or reason for that. Superman doesn't shoot guns. He doesn't do anything else. If there was an explosion there and they were trying to blame that on him, okay, maybe, but obviously he shouldn't be considered liable for anything in that place because of the fact that, look, he doesn't shoot guns. He doesn't do any of these things, and all of them were killed by that. By the way, great job on blowing the Jimmy Olsen thing, but that's a whole nother story. But really, it's so much of a big plot point that there was no reason, and really, you could have taken that entire beginning scene out. I mean, it's meant to show Lex Luthor's diabolical plan and how much he foresees everything happening, but it really just not only obviously doesn't make sense for the American people being stupid, but it really doesn't make sense. They didn't need that. They could have simply used what happened in Metropolis and put him on trial for that. That could have been it. You didn't need this extra thing, and it didn't end up making it sense. And it's like, after the explosion later on in this building, it was kind of like, well, fuck it, kind of thing. It was just like, well, forget about that. We don't need to actually wrap up Man of Steel now. Let's just move on to this story. And they left it open, and it really was never resolved, and it really left a bad taste it didn't make any sense. So that's the first major plot hole that just really stuck out. It was, why was Superman blamed for this stuff? He shouldn't have been, and it just really messed it up. The second one was one that I actually called out in the trailer, and it was never resolved, and that really pissed me off because I said they better explain why this is, because although it's a cute moment, it makes no sense, and it really is one of my biggest issues with this movie, is that Batman is an idiot. He is a badass. He's a fucking crazy badass, but he's an idiot, and I really take offense to that as a huge Batman fan. Here's the thing. Why does Lex Luthor know who Clark Kent is? Why? There's no reason he would know who the fuck Clark Kent is. It makes no sense whatsoever. I don't care. A billionaire would not do their research that much into knowing who one reporter who's not a Pulitzer Prize winner like Lois Lane, who's not anything near that, but one reporter on the Daily Planet. It just would not make sense. And Batman should have picked up on this. Bruce Wayne should have picked up on this. Obviously, it's clear why Lex would know Bruce. They're both billionaires. They run in the same circles. All that is understandable. But why he would know who Clark Kent is in this scene where he's like, Bruce Wayne meets Clark Kent. I love bringing people together. It makes no sense, and Batman should have picked up, like, wait, why does Lex know who this person is? I must investigate. And that really, it should have made more sense to him. Then, Batman you could have had a whole scene where, like, Batman's like, wait, why does he know where he is? Okay, maybe I need to investigate this guy, Clark Kent, because if Lex knows who he is, he must be someone important. He would have found Superman's identity. Oh man, would that have been a great plot point to use and build up and everything. That would have been so much better than what we got. But this made no sense. Obviously, you at this point found out, oh, Lex knows Clark Kent is Superman. That was it. Because there is no other reason why he would know who Clark Kent is. So Lex, at this point, already knows who Superman is, and Batman doesn't question it as the world's greatest detective. You know, I wish we had gotten that, but we didn't. We got a guy that didn't notice a huge, simple plot point like that would have been really great to explore and really great to find out who Superman's character was. So that was plot point number 4, that no one questions why Lex Luthor knows Clark Kent. Plot point number 3. Bruce Wayne is really pissed off in the beginning for all the destruction and killing that Superman caused, and because he is so powerful that he just kills things. But what he's really, yes, he's afraid, but he's saying the moral reason he is so upset was because of all the destruction they caused, the people they killed. And here is the third major plot point. Batman has no moral code in this movie. So why is he upset with Superman? He actually is the one who leads Doomsday to the city with his plane. He fires on him and leads him to the city in the end of the movie, instead of having Alfred, which we know, we saw this earlier in the badass scene where Batman kicks everyone's ass. We know that he is capable of having Alfred remote access it, take it over, while Batman could have gotten the staff. He could have gotten the kryptonite staff, had it ready. Alfred could have kept him at that abandoned place where there's no casualties, but no. Batman brings him closer to the city, and even Wonder Woman questioned, like, why are you bringing him back? Oh, because there's a thing over here that it's the only thing that can kill him. Okay, but why aren't you leaving him in a abandoned area and having Alfred remote take over the plane, shoot at him, and then you're completely set, and it's perfect. It's perfect. You keep him out of civilians' way, but no, you're bringing the fight to the city. And isn't that what you said? That son of a bitch brought the fight to us. Well, guess what? So did you. And this is the biggest thing that I have an issue with. It's not so much that Batman kills, which, okay, you know, we can get over that. But that Batman has no moral code. And yes, maybe he's supposed to have a moral code after this, you know, oh, I let him down in life, I won't let him down in death at the end when he says that about Superman. So maybe he's going to be better now. But it's just he has no moral code in this movie, and that is such a letdown for the greatest written character that just, he's so complex, but he has such a great thing for that. So my thing is that, yes, he shouldn't just have let him down like that, but you should have some moral code, and Batman had no moral code to stand on. He had no moral ground to stand on. This version of Batman has no moral code, and that was such a big plot point because he's hypocritical. He's completely hypocritical. And it's just such a bad point that he's completely hypocritical, because although he blames Superman for all the destruction that happened in Metropolis, and that's why he was mad, his Wayne Tower died, the little girl died, how many people died because of Batman himself when he brought Doomsday to the city? And that is such a big plot point, because it literally is an entire 180, and it's not growth. It's not a development. It really is just that it's hypocritical, and it makes no sense, and Batman has no moral code. So it's not so much that, you know, he's supposed to be vengeance, he's supposed to be justice. He's none of those things, because he doesn't have any of that. He doesn't have any justification for anything except the nightmares, and that's it. All right, and the next plot point is, of course, something that we've brought up on a lot of sites, but it still doesn't make sense. So this is the one that's most publicly acknowledged. What the hell was Lex Luthor's plan? What the hell was his plan on unleashing Doomsday? You know, Jesse Eisenberg tried to justify it by saying that, oh, well, he just has backup plan upon backup plan upon backup plan, so he's not afraid of anything. If Doomsday did not die, he would have destroyed everything. He would have destroyed everything. We already saw in the very beginning when Doomsday came out, he attacked Lex. He has no control over him. There's nothing to do with that. Lex had no plan to protect himself from Doomsday. He couldn't. He couldn't have any plan. What? He thought they would kill him? He thought that he would definitely die? Again, he's still locked up at the end of the movie. And yes, he, in the scene we reviewed already, the deleted scene, we saw the communion scene, where yes, he knows the dark side is coming. But again, Doomsday would have destroyed everything before Darkseid would get there. So it just makes no sense why he unleashed Doomsday. And they could have corrected this very easily. They could just say that Doomsday was completely under Jesse Eisenberg's control. He could have almost punched Lex Luthor and then saw him and he's like, oh no, he's my blood. He didn't even say anything, of course. He just looks at him and grunted. And Lex could have pointed at Superman and then they could have fought. It just needed to be that easy. But obviously showing that Doomsday had no control then shows that Lex made a miscalculation. Maybe he thought that was going to be, but it just makes no sense. The ultimate plan of Lex releasing Doomsday made no sense. And that was the big pain. That was a big plot point that made no sense. And it by far was probably the second worst offense that the movie did. But not the worst. The worst offense that the movie did, the biggest plot point that the movie did, and again, especially because of how intelligent Batman is that no one questions these fucking letters. Okay, let's forget about the fact that, for one was sent to Clark Kent, specifically. That means that he knew who he was. Obviously, right then and there, because who the fuck is going to send this to Clark Kent? Who the hell is going to send a letter to Clark Kent? It makes no sense, right? Then, Batman has gotten several of these directed towards Bruce Wayne specifically, not to Batman. Why wouldn't Batman check fingerprints on these, check all of this analysis? It just rips the character apart from being a great detective. And don't tell me that the movie didn't try to make out that Batman was smart, because all of these scenes are about that. He can hack into Lex's technology. He can get into it. He can do all this stuff. So no matter what, they tried to show Bruce having some intelligence. He just wasn't that intelligent, because obviously he never questions where the hell these came from. And obviously he was being manipulated. And Batman would completely question that. That was the biggest thing that Batman fans were all pissed off about, was the fact that Batman wasn't shown as intelligent. And he is the world's greatest detective. Yes, you could say that, oh, well, he's just not the world's greatest detective in BVS. Okay, but you try to show that he was intelligent here, so he's not really that intelligent, and he's just stupid? So you're telling us this version of Batman is stupid? Because anyone would question where these are coming from, and no one did. Superman didn't. Batman didn't. And these are two of the smarter people in the world, and it just showed how stupid they were. This did not show how smart Lex was, which is what the movie tried to depict. It showed how stupid Batman and Superman were. And this is the biggest plot point, that Batman is specifically. Okay, I can see Clark Kent. For one, he should realize that, okay, someone's sending this to me, and I'm Clark Kent. Why would someone send this to me? They know I'm Superman. Right then he should have questioned it, and right then he should have, realized something was up, been more sensitive to where Lois Lane was, where his mom was, and everything. and he didn't. But for Batman not to have a plan, not to have anything of even suspicion about this, was the biggest letdown of the movie and the biggest plot point of the movie. That if you go on this, that Batman did not question who these letters were from, it makes him stupid. It makes him completely stupid. Because Batman has the technology, clearly in the Batcave, to do all of this kind of stuff. And yet he didn't. He didn't do any of it. So this is really the biggest plot point of the movie, was the fact that Batman nor Superman questioned where these letters came from. Alright guys, let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Were these plot points really... Did you notice them in the movie? If you rewatch the movie, do you think you can not think yeah, why did that happen? Why did that happen? Do you have the answers to these plot points? Please leave them in the comment section down below. If you can answer all these plot points, I'm more than open to hearing from it. But the point is that these are huge plot points in the movie that make the movie make no sense, and they would have been better if they had just corrected every single one of these plot points. Alright guys, thank you as always for watching. This has been RICKY, the Mainstream Movie Guy.